What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. In today's video, we're going to be working on the YXZ. We're lacking a little something, and this is actually a video that I've been really excited to film because we are getting, booyah, we got the SuperATV winch bumper, and then we also have the 3500 Badland Harbor Freight Special winch, which has really good reviews and a couple little sour reviews, but we're going to be working on this and installing this, so stay tuned. All right, well, here it is. We have the SuperATV YXZ winch bumper. You can install a winch right in here, and it says on the website that it works with the Warn 3500, which is pretty much the identical thing of this one. This is just a fraction of the cost, but this comes with this little kit here. So we have this, and then this actually installs on here. So if you didn't want to run a winch, you could actually take or leave this on, but when you run the winch, you just remove this. Comes with hardware to mount that up, and then the winch obviously just goes right in there and just bolts to these holes. Then also, to go along with the install, we have some synthetic rope instead of using the cable that comes with it. It's a little bit safer. And then we have the winch cable stopper right here. We actually got a set of them for some reason, but that goes right up on here. It all makes sense. If you don't know, well, you'll figure it out. Before we get started, I'll give a little price rundown just in case you're wondering. I paid $250 for the bumper. Actually, no, I didn't pay $250. This retails for $250, and I got it on a sale, and I paid $225 for it with free shipping. And then the synthetic rope, this was $30. The stoppers were $15, and then I picked up the winch for $100 because I got it on a sale with a coupon, and I paid $100 for this. But I also paid $22 for the warranty. It's a unlimited, no questions asked, 1-year warranty on it. So if it breaks, good. So we're in at $122 for that. So the easiest part of this install is installing the bumper and then actually installing the winch onto the bumper. That's pretty easy. The difficult part is wiring it up. So we're going to go ahead and cover that, but let's just go ahead and I was thinking about installing the winch bumper in real time just so you could see how fast it actually is. But we'll see what I go with. But I think in real time, just to show you, because this is literally going to take 5 minutes to install. It's that easy. This just mounts to your factory mounts, so it's super easy, and it just mounts right over here. So it's just a matter of 4 bolts. There's 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, and then we'll get the other one on there, and then she's already installed. Super easy. So first, I'm just going to use a 14mm socket to remove the old stock bumper. Seeing that quick, it's already off. So now the kit actually comes with its own hardware, and the new bolts that they send are actually a little bit longer than the factory, just because the bumper is a little bit thicker. So use the added hardware that it comes with the kit. So now I got my 14mm connected to a ratchet just because I don't want to force the bolts in with my impact, because I don't want to cross thread any threads. Now, honestly, this is the first go at it, so I haven't even tried to install this beforehand or anything, so just figuring it out as I go. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of eyeball it and figure out where we want it, and then tighten it up. Because the mounting holes in the bumper actually have they're slotted so that you can move it around and, you know, adjust it and maybe level it out or whatever. So now there you go. If you're not installing a winch, the bumper is already installed. Looks pretty freaking badass if you ask me. It's already installed. Literally that fast. Now that since we're installing a winch, we actually have to remove this. I just wanted to show how fast it was to put the bumper on. But with the winch, we have to attach the winch first, because if you look back here, there's no room to put the bolts to bolt the winch into the bumper. So we're gonna have to take this back off, attach the winch, and then we can go from there. Okay, we got it off. Now let's go ahead and explore the box of the winch. I've already went through this a little bit and figured out what's involved. But it comes with instructions. We got the fair lead. We got a little tassel thingy for the end of the line. Comes with a mounting plate, which we won't be using. Some plastic. Hardware. This is mounting hardware. I already dug those out. Then it also comes with a controller to control it. Obviously comes with a hook, more hardware, and wiring. This is also for the controller. Has this cool little connecting port right here, little backing plate that you can mount it, and then it kind of waterproofs it up with this little cap for when you're not using it. Then it comes with, this is if you're like putting it on like an ATV or whatever, it comes with a controller for that. You can connect it to your handlebars. And then all the wiring, got that big fuse in there, and then of course the winch. And it comes with this pretty much the brains of the operation. And the cool thing is it's all color coordinated. So you could see this one has red, this one has blue, this is gold, that's black. That's yellow, not gold. But red wire goes to the red, yellow, that goes to the yellow, the blue goes to the blue, and so forth. So it's pretty easy. I think the most difficult part is actually going to be finding ways to run the wires through the YXZ and not get them drenched and saturated with water. So that's going to be the most difficult thing. But it's all pretty easy. And we're going to go ahead and mount the winch to the bumper now. So let's get started on that. Alright, well, we got that plate on there now, and it's actually really nice. It's milled out like aluminum. Then it has these set Allen heads in there. Look pretty nice. Real nice, actually. So nice I don't want to get it dirty, but one time out and that thing is going to look not so nice. But it's starting to come together. It's looking good. Got our lead. We can get our lead through here. Well, I can't do it one-handed, but it comes through there. The winch does have free spool, so you can just hit this little lever. Since like this is engaged, that's free spool, and then you can just take it and it will come out all on its own. So that's pretty cool. But now we'll just go ahead and install it on the YXZ and then start wiring this beast up. And there we go. Literally within 3 minutes we got it mounted back up. We got the winch sitting inside there. Now we can start wiring this up. We got to figure that out. Figure out where we're going to run our wires, and basically we're going to figure out a good pathway just to run them right through here, through the center console, and then into the battery. But it's pretty easy. There's just two connections here and then the remote, and then we're good to go. So here's a quick overview of all of our wires. We have our power with a fuse, we have a solenoid box, we got our ground, then we got the yellow, which I assume is the ground for the actual winch, and then we have the blue, which would be the power for the winch as well. So I just took these apart, and this is the power and the ground that go from the winch to the solenoid box. I just measured them and they're 3 feet. So that means that this box has to be mounted within 3 feet of the winch unless you want to add more wire. But in this case, we don't want to. So we're going to go ahead, look underneath here, and basically we have 3 feet to go from here to somewhere underneath the hood in here so that it makes sense. I went ahead and measured the power and the ground. We have about 6.5 feet of each of those. So I'm just hoping that I have enough to go from the battery all the way to, I don't know, roughly about right here. I guess we'll find out. I went ahead and I installed the first power wire. I ran it up through there, comes over here. You can see it right there, goes up there, and then eventually, before I'm finished up, I'll zip tie it to all these spots just to clean it up and make sure it doesn't get tangled up in anything. You also want to make sure that your suspension parts are not going to flex or move and chop your power wire or any of the wires in half or anything, and you don't want them to wear on any sharp edges. So I fed it up through here, and then it's coming up through here, just between the plastic and the tubing right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and mount the solenoid right here. I got the yellow and the blue wire, ran, zip tied in there, and here we are. We're just sitting right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to dig into where the battery is and then start taking some plastics apart so that we can run the power from the battery up from the battery into here and then back out to here. So I apologize for the terrible lighting, but it's storming outside and I had to shut the garage door because it's getting cold. But here's the battery, that's the negative, here's the positive. Here is the red wire for the winch, so this is going to hook up to the positive over here. So what I did here was I just took off this center panel here, then this center panel here. All this has is just one little screw right there for that one, and then this one, hopefully you already know how to pull that out. You just pop it up and it comes up like that. Then I pulled 2 more of the little plastic screw daily boppers from right here, and then this separates. So what I did is I run that down here, and then your wires go down here, and then I'm going to, if you can see this bundle of wires right here, I'm going to zip tie it to that and then run it up through there, which comes up to the front right over here. You can see it comes from down there, and then you have your power, and I'm going to do the same thing to the ground, and then we'll hook it up right there.
A few moments later.
I got all the wires ran, got the positive and negative from the battery, got the blue and the yellow wires, so now all we have to do is hook them up to the solenoid, mount them to the plastics, and then we can start worrying about our power button, or the in and out button, and then the actual remote. But this is for an ATV. If you have it, this hooks to the handlebars and it goes in and out. But I'm going to try and incorporate it into my switch panel that I have. I did a video on my switch panel. Check that out. I'll put a link up here and down below. But we're going to try and incorporate this button and the remote so that we can use either or. And hopefully eventually we're going to go to a wireless setup. I think I mentioned it before in the video, but just in case I did not, we have the blue, yellow, or gold, whatever you want to call it. It's yellow because the wire is yellow. And then we have the black and the red. So it's super easy. You can't mess this up. We just go down here, connect those to the correct pins, and then we'll mount it, and then it's that easy. Then these connections are just for the switch and remote. I will add that these wires are not connected to the battery yet. You don't want to do that yet. Make sure you do that last because you don't want to blow any fuses while you're fumbling around with them or anything. So make sure you just don't connect those to the battery yet. Don't be like me and install everything and then forget to put your little boots on. Forgot the little rubber boots that go on there to protect it from the water, so I had to pull it all back apart. And, well, just figured I would remind you not to do that. I'm not even going to lie. Putting those little boots on there was a pain in the ass. I even suffered a little cut, but no big deal. Now we got it. It's all mounted up. We're good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and straighten up these wires, figure something out with that, zip tie them together, and then we can start working on the remote. So for now, I just have the wired remote. Eventually, I want to switch to the wireless, but this is, I think they said it's 12 feet long, but we just have the in and out for this. So there's a plug-in that you hook up to the solenoid, which I already have plugged in over here. So I've already ran the wires for that. So this is the tail end of the plug. So we have, this is the positive and the negative right here, which I found out, which kind of sucks. I had to remove the boots so that I can hook the white one up to the black major ground to the battery, and then this red wire to the power that goes to the battery. So that goes there, and then this green wire hooks up to the green wire on the box, the solenoid box, and then there's also a black wire which hooks up to this black wire right here. So we'll head over here and I'll show you what I did. Anyways, these wires are all ran over here to the remote section where this is actually plugged in here, which I decided I'm going to put it right in here. So if we come down here and look on my fender, right here, we pop this little plug off of here like that, right there. I haven't screwed it in yet, but then you take this little plug right here, and then this plugs right into here, and then you can use your remote. So that's what I've done for that. And then once we have that figured out, we'll figure out the switch that I'm gonna mount in here so that I can control it from inside. So this is pretty much controlling the winch from the outside of the vehicle, and then we'll hook up a switch on the switch panel to control from the inside of the vehicle. So I got the green wire hooked up, the black wire hooked up, the red wire hooked up, and the white wire. White went to the ground, red went to the power, and then green goes to green, black goes to black. So there we go. This is all hooked up. So now we have these little off the red and the green. These are like a takeoff from the wire connection here that are going to go to the switch. Because right now, what these wires go to is what I just showed you, is that little connection over here for it to go out of the car. So that's the plug there. So here's my switch panel. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the switch and I'm going to put it on the side right here so that it's mounted on there. And what I did, these bolts actually came and went through the other way, but I just unscrewed them, swapped them so that the switch reads properly right side up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drill some holes and then mount it right there with the hardware that came with it. And then I'm going to drill another hole over here for the wires to go through there, and then they're going to go down through this hole right here, which will then feed out to there. It'll make more sense as we go, but just wanted to show you what I'm doing.
Eventually.
So now I have the switch panel back installed into the YXZ, and here is the inside button. This goes out, in, mounted it to the side of there. I like it, nice and clean. And then I still haven't hooked up the negative and positive to the battery yet, but we're getting there. We're almost there. We're almost ready to test this out. But the wiring goes from top in there and then just comes out here. And then this is it right here. I have all this extra. And then now we just tie our green wire and our black wire into the green and the black right here. And then we'll tidy up the wires. And then we should be good to go. We can start playing with this thing. Now all we have to do is just go ahead and hook up our positive and our negative. And then we'll have power to the winch and we should be good to go. One thing I ran into is that the hole on the power and the negative actually is too small to fit on the YXZ battery bolt. So what I did was I just drilled it out a little bit so that it would actually fit. I did that to both positive and the negative. All right, so we're going to disengage, pull some line out, re-engage it, and then we have our remote, and then we got push in and see if it works. There we go. We're golden. All right, there we go. We are golden. It is good to go. It's working. I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to be able to swap out the metal cable for the synthetic cable, but it works. We're good. And that pretty much sums it up and gives you the gist of the install. So we're going to go ahead and just add the hook to this, and then for aesthetics, and then we're going to leave it there for now. And then when I get some more time, I'm going to change out for the synthetic rope.
Several bad puns later.
Now I'm really running out of daylight, but there you go. We got the hook on there, the little strappy deal, and the stopper on there. And it's looking pretty mean. Looks pretty badass. Alright guys, this is going to wrap up the install. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if it is, make sure you check out my other videos, because I have a lot of other install videos and DIY sort of stuff for your side-by-sides, and I have riding videos, so check those out. I'll put links down below, and periodically through the video I've been throwing them up above. But make sure you check those other videos out, and thanks for joining me, and peace out.